Hello, this is Roman Buha, and I'm going to record a video about how to model a staircase in ArchiCAD 27. So here's what you can see on the left side of the screen. It's a reference that I put together. So at the bottom left corner, there are some drawings, enlarged stair plans, and I do have stair sections. So this is very helpful. And on the upper left corner, there's some pictures that I made of that exact same staircase, how it looks in reality. So let's just switch to ArchiCAD on the right and try to explore the settings of railings and stairs. And this is, by the way, what I've modeled so far, and I'm pretty happy with it in general. There are some of minor things that I still am working on and try to explore the settings, but overall, in general, I'm happy with the settings that I've set up. And so I have the 3D model of it right here, and I have the section through, and I also have the floor plan, of course, of each plan of each floor. So I would start with building a reference in plan. I would just grab a polyline tool and start modeling that exact same stair. So let's start with looking at the floor plan and enlarge the plan. Let's look at the ground floor first. I'll zoom in a little bit here, and we can check the setting, the sizes, dimensions of it. So as you can see, the width of the stairs is 4'7.5", and the length of that first stair flight is 7'4", and it says 9 risers at 6.66 each, and then 8 threads at 11 inch each. So that's what we'll try to model now. And the landing is, once again, the width of one flight, 4'7.5" by 5'8" and a half. That's what I'll start building it in here. So click here. I will change the geometry method to rectangular, and now I can insert dimensions. So I will click tab and I'll type 5'8", so 5-8. That's how I type spacebar 1.5. And I'll just say tab again, and this time I will enter the width of that stair flight, which is 4'7.5". You see, I don't even type feet or inches symbol, it just works like that. Hit enter. So here's that first part of a landing. Now let's build a thread. So I'll click here, I'll type 11 inches by exact same size, 4'7.5". There's my thread. Now I have 8 of them here, so let me multiply it. So Command U. I'll just select this method here, which is default drag, increment, and spread. Say OK, and every time when you do something in ArchiCAD, you can always pay attention to this bottom left side of your screen. There is some information that is helpful. So it says enter drag reference points, and I can click here, and then it says enter drag 2 point, so it will be my second point, and there's this little plus symbol you see here. So I'll click here, and now you see I can multiply this thread as many as I need. So I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, that's gonna be right. I built my threads. I would now scroll up slightly and check this is 1'5", and so the size of this distance is 1'5". So I would actually can just copy this. So I would select everything and hit Command D, click, and then click on Option on my keyboard, and so there's this plus. I can now make a copy. I'll just put it here, and now say Command D again and click anywhere basically, and now I should just enter a distance, which is 1 foot 5, so 1-5. And so this is my second flight. I will eliminate now this second rectangular and just extend this one here. So click offset edge and just snap it to here. Here it is. Here's my reference. Now the second flight has actually more steps. I think it has a couple of more. So it says 11 threads, and we had only 8. So I need 3 more. So let me just select 3, Command D, click plus, and snap to this one. So here's my first floor plan of my stairs. Now let's look at the section on the next page here and try to understand how it looks. Okay, so as you can see on the left here, it says that this first flight, it has 8 risers at 6.66 inches each, like we saw earlier. But if you, and maybe I can extend this slightly, if you can, if you see the next flight has 12 risers, but the height of each riser is higher, is 7 inches versus 6.66. Therefore, we have to pay attention to this because it will affect the model of the stairs. Now, I think we are ready to finally model the first flight. So let's just select the staircase right here, the stair tool, and I would be using a default ArchiCAD's favorite setting, because if we go to the settings dialog here, there are so many settings in here. Like you see, I can click on the menu on the left and switch different settings, and there's so many of them. Like imagine how long it will take to just set it up. So Graphisoft already saved some favorites, some standard favorites in here, and that's what I would be using. I would select the stair tool, click on this little flyout, and then you see I have a bunch of different stairs here pre-selected, and there's this button here. If you don't see it on your screen, you can try to go up or down depending where you are. I can select ArchiCAD design, stairs, and then finally here I have the same selection of stairs. So I will scroll down and select the stair metal pan simple. This is the stairs I'll be using for that model. Double click on it, and now after I did that, it loads up all of the settings that they already did in that favorite, and I can go inside, and now if I would check this settings, I can see that what I need to change here. I would start with the bottom and the upper points of my stairs. Once again, it starts at 0, so this is fine, 0 level here. And then home story is the first floor, so this is fine. The stair height should be 5 feet, and right now it's linked to the second floor. I will just say not linked, and I would say 5 feet here. And automatically, as you can see on the right, it rebuilt the number of risers, and then I have the riser height here. So I actually need 9 risers, not 10. So I can click here, and you see there are 2 options that it gives me. I can select 9, and it will change the riser height automatically, which is 643 by 64. I'm pretty sure if you divide this number by that, you will get 6.66. So that's the height of the riser. Now the run depth, which is a thread, right? It is locked. It says fixed run depth, and it says 11 inches. This is exactly what we need. That's what we have at 11 inches each. So this is fine. This is just, the next one is just the angle. I don't care much about this right now. We can change it later anytime. So let's just leave it. And here we have start with riser. it is selected start with riser, that's fine, and then end with riser. This is also fine. Now we just need to set up the stair width, and once again, if I scroll up to just double check this dimension, it was 4'7.5", so I would change this to 4-7 spacebar and a half, and it will type that exact width. That should be it. We should be ready to go to model the stairs. I think the only one setting that is really important is also this turning type option. Sometimes by default it says minimum riser offset, and it says 0, 0 here. You can also change it to fixed riser offset, but I think in our situation it will probably not matter. We can leave it as is. I would probably uncheck this automatic landing lengths at each period of at each distance 3'10". We probably don't need that. And this is it. So we have 9 risers at the exact height that we need, and the width is correct. We set up the bottom of the stairs and the top of it. Let's just say okay. And what else I'll do, I'll also I could and there are different methods how you can build it, but there's an option to build railings automatically. They will build it for you automatically. So I'll probably check this on, and I'll check the left railing as well. And if we look at the picture, we are talking right now about this particular stair flight. So it has a guardrail on the right and the handrail, and then it only has a handrail on the left. So I'll check railings on both sides, and let's just start and build our first stair flight. I will only double check which floor am I in. So this is the navigator. I'll double check. I'll click on the first floor. Yeah, it actually says right here, so it's all correct. I'll click on the first vertex, so it says enter first vertex of stair baseline. Click here, then enter next vertex of stair baseline. So click, and you see it starts to build exactly the same way how we did our reference. So I would click second time, and here you go. I already got my stair built for me. So if I go to 3D, I will see there's another stair here on that side. So it built this stair, which was again a default from ArchiCAD, and it also built this handrails, which are rotated wrong direction. Why they're rotated wrong direction is because I was the last handrail I was modeling for this stairs, I was using this profile, and somehow it just remembered that last one, and it was probably rotated on to a different, somehow to the different side or wherever, because there are different settings to the left and right, and somehow it just messes up. But it's not a problem. I can just select a handrail, and then I can go to this little flyout, which is giving me some options. If I go up, and again I'll be using a default handrail, so I'll open this handrail folder, and here you see I have railing metal tube rail left wall mount or right wall mount. Well, this is obviously left, so I'll just double click on this left, and it immediately will change it for me. So now it looks much better. It is still incorrect because it must be extended, but we can talk about this a little later. But for this one here, I'll select it, and I will go up one level, and I'll select guardrails. And here I'll pick, see, I have a couple of options. I will pick one of these. So it says railing, guardrail, metal, double handrail, right. And again, it has the exact same setting for the left. So I'll just pick right, double click, and here it is. It just gave me this guardrail with this handrail connected, which is not really exactly what we see here, but very close, and we can adjust it. Now the next step is this particular handrail. it does not sit on the stringer, and that's the problem. This is a default setting of that exact guardrail, and probably why they did this offset of 2 inches. I think because the stair could be made of concrete, and it may not have any stringers. So in that situation, the default setting, if they would set the negative offset, it would then like floating in the air. So I think the idea was to have this handrail sitting on the stairs by default because of that reason. But we can change that. We just need to change the offset to a different number. Like if I do minus 2 inches, for example, you see it jumps back and it sits back. We can calculate the exact distances, and that's what I already did on that particular model. I will not be calculating this again. I'll just select this railing and insert the same exact numbers. But let's first start with the stringers still. We need to change them. Well, if we look at this, we see that this profile, it's not really what that looks like in here. And let me zoom in a little bit more. So we can see that it's narrower, it's smaller, and let's change it. So select the stairs, go to the settings of it, and I can go to, I can just close all of the settings so we can see less of them because it's so overwhelming. We can select structure here and see that this is where you can check box for your flight structure and for your landing structure, and it will activate the stringer. So you can turn it off, and it will remove the actual stringer at all. But we need it, so I will leave it on. Now I will go to flight stringers, and I would check the settings here, and again close what I don't need for right now. But what I need is this section, stringer component settings. And here, if you click here on this button at the very top of that menu, because you see if you change it, these settings are changing. So you need to go to the very top one, style and dimensions, and that's where you can finally select a profile. So by default, this is what ArchiCAD has for you, but I already did some research and found this particular profile, which I found most close to it. It's called MC 10 by 8.4, and I will just select it. And how to create a profile, it's a separate tool in ArchiCAD. We're not going to be exploring this right now, but I already did draw this, so that's what I'll select. I'll say OK, and you see it changes the profile immediately. Now it looks much better. Now let's still continue editing it, so I will select these stairs, go to the settings back again, and I will now change the offset. So if I actually, it's under the support connections section. So you see, if I expand this support connections, there is this very bottom flight start kind of blue circle that highlights what I'm going to be changing right now. So I need to click here and change this to vertical cut. So when I change it to vertical cut and click OK, you will see, oh, this is actually looks much better than it was before, right? Looks like we still have some offset. It's not really like this exactly. So let's go back again and just set some distance here. We can set this to 2 inches. Well, I already tried that, and if you just leave it like a positive number here, it actually go back. So you just have to instead of doing positive number, you just do the negative number. You say minus 2 inches, and that way it just pushes this stringers kind of into the opposite direction. Now, what else? Let's change the color of it. So the finished material, it's painted in white. So I'll go back to the settings, and by the way, if you select the stairs, you don't have to always go up and click here. You just instead click Command T, which is a shortcut for the stair selection settings, and other settings as well, other tools. Command T, very helpful shortcut. And I will go to the other settings, try to find where the finish is, where I can set it up. So under Stringer Component Settings, if I click here, there's a representation, and that's where I will change not the building material, but actually the surface of it. So I'm fine to have the material to be the material metal structural. I just want to check this box here under Override Beam Surface, and now I can click on the flyout here and just type paint, for example, and I see there's this paint white, so I'll select that one. This is good. So you can see in the preview, so it changed that. Now I also have to go to landing stringers, and we'll change the representation of it also there. So again, check this here and type paint, select white, and it will also modify that. And as you can see, I did not actually change the profile for the landing. So let me go back to my settings, right here, Style and Dimensions. Click on this list here, pick that one, and say enter. Now, okay, this is now much better. Start to look more closer. I think it's still, the profile is still deeper than what it is here, but again, we can always change it later. And now I will just select quickly this particular guardrail and just check what was the reference line offset that I did. Okay, it was -3/4. I'll just copy this number so I don't do the mess again, to speed up the process a little bit, and select it. Just type this number here, because you see it's not really sitting where it's supposed to be. So I'll just paste that particular offset here, and this is exactly working now. All right, now we build our first stair flight, and it needs some more adjustments. So let's check the picture, and maybe let's look at the other picture, maybe here. Let's start to see how does that look, and we need to adjust the railing now. So the idea of railing in ArchiCAD, and I think it's one of the most complicated tools, but to simplify it, it will build the railing based on segments. So if I click Edit, it will hide the environment, and I can check it back, but it will hide the environment. It will only show you the actual railing, and you can turn off or on all of this elements, and instead you can just click this first one, which was hidden by default. It's called segments and nodes. So this is the important concept, how you model a railing in ArchiCAD. It has segments and it has nodes. So this blue surface here, it's called a segment, and on each end of this segment there are nodes, and these black lines or black dots or points that you will see in the floor plan represents nodes. So the idea is that if I, for example, turn on the, let's say, not the railing, but probably baluster. Let's actually check all of this. So the idea of this is you can set up settings for each individual segment, and we can check it right now. So if I would select this segment and go to the settings of it, I can, for example, go to balusters here, and I can adjust the way how this baluster is set up. So right now it says baluster pattern distribution and position, and is selected to divide segment. Actually, it's selected to fixed lengths, and then it says 4 inches. So every 4 inches, and that's, by the way, the distance that you cannot pass the sphere of 4 inches of a diameter through this by code. So this is actually correct. But I can change the start baluster pattern. I can say align to center, and let's just see how that will affect it. Okay, it looks like no changes there. Sometimes the settings work a little differently. So I mean, if you go to the baluster, you should be able to, yeah, you should first change this. I think fixed pattern lengths. Let's play with these settings a little bit. No, I don't want to change that. Let's just leave it. Let's read it again. So start with patterns, start from center, align to center. Oh, that's what I wanted to do, I think. No, still nothing. I was going to change the this element, which is railing post. So I think I went to a wrong menu. Let's just select it and go back again. And go back to the, yeah, so I should actually go back to the railing segment. And under here, you see at the, there's this section, segment pattern settings, and it says, if you hover your cursor over, it gives you this tips. So it says pattern distribution, and then there are 3 options, right? Divide segment, fixed length, or equally distribute pattern. So right now, the second one is set, which is fixed length, and it says at the bottom, start with pattern. Well, we can change it, start from center, and let's see if that will affect it. Yes, and that's what will affect it. So we just set this pattern to start from the center, and kind of that's what it did for us. I will escape from here right now, and the other way of changing settings here is to, you don't have to click and say edit, because that will allow you to set individual elements and adjust them. Instead, I would escape, and I would just select the entire element and go to the settings. And once again, Command T. And first, let's just first remove this this mid kind of bar here, because we don't really have it here. We just have a handrail. We don't have the bottom one. But just so you know, there are in ArchiCAD like 4 horizontal bars that you can set up. So there's this, what's called a top rail. There's a handrail, and this is also kind of considered a handrail. In ArchiCAD, they name it handrail 2, and this is handrail 1, and we will talk about this a little later. But there's also this bottom one, which is just called rails. So I will select this, and I'll just hit minus and say OK, and we'll just remove that one. Whoops, did I do something wrong? Let's check it out once again. I'll go back and select this again, Command D. I've selected this one, and I want to hit minus, so it should, yeah, I think what just happened, and this is happening oftentimes with railing tool. The problem is, before I was trying to adjust the way how the pattern was built, and if I would go back and go back to the settings again, you will see there's this kind of little icon here that says, if I click on it, there's like this little warning symbol, and at the very bottom here, you can now reset custom segments. So if I would click again here and say OK, it will reset it back to the default. And if I would go to settings now, I no longer have it, and now I can click here, and I think if I remove it, yes, and now it just removed that bottom bar, and it didn't mess it up. So the problem with this is, and you just have to know it, if you would change anything in the default settings, it will then make this warning symbol for you, and after that you have to be careful when you're modeling, because it can change settings until you will reset. It will not it can mess up the geometry. So I would still, now after I remove that, so that's I had to do this first. I had to remove this bar first, so I don't have to now change this settings back again. Now let's look at this once again. We need to change the profiles, and we need to change this bottom one is not really square. The profile should be round. All of this vertical bars also have to be set up accordingly. So I would go to the settings. I would select the balusters. It's called balusters here, and open this baluster component settings. Go to the style and dimension, and I would check this one here, the round one, and ½ inch. I think it's fine. Say OK, and see now it changed it to that exact shape. I would go to the settings back again, and now I would select the bottom rail, which is called a rail, and again the same thing. I would change it to this circular shape, and I would only change this to, I believe I was setting 1.5 inch, and because it's linked I only have to enter it here, and let's check. Yeah, it's changed that. Now I think the top rail is actually exactly the same in size. All of these pipes are, I think they have probably 1.5 inch. I didn't measure that, but I'm just trying to guess the size. So select this one, 1.5 inch. This should be good now too. Now we don't really have any anything like this in here, and let me go back just to, yeah, we just have this turning down this handrail. I'm sorry, I was talking about this, the guardrail. So I can now click edit and select this component, and just go to the settings here, and just say none. I don't need any built-in rail end. It will just eliminate it. But now we have this problem because this is not connected. So what I would be doing, I would click on this element. It's now called extension, and just check the settings. I will select this second one here to kind of break it and move it down. And let's just see what else I can set in here. Looks like there are settings to turn it left or right, or I could just pick the first one, curving in segment plane, and now I can even fix the angle so it's 90 degrees. And all I need now is to change the size of the extension. So I'll just put 1 foot for right now, just to show it to you. I'll say OK, and as you can see, it started to break down, and that's what I need. But we do have this post here at the same time, so all I need to do, I just need to eliminate it, and that's it. And now I have to so I just click delete when I selected it. Now I can select this one here and go to the settings and extend it to whatever distance I need. It could be 3 feet, I think so. That was the height, or let me check. This is 3'2". I probably should do this 3'2", I believe so. And it should be right. So I would now select this element here. And by the way, this was the only one that I wasn't able to make it the exact look like in here with the default settings, with the settings of handrail. But if I select this element and go to the settings of it, it's called handrail end. And so I can now pick, yeah, well, first of all, let's change this radius here to 0 and say OK, and you see it will break all the radiuses and we'll just make it exactly like it is here. But there's no break in this point here. You see it just goes down. It must extend by, I believe, 11 inches, which is the exact same the thread depth by code. So let's first go here and check the other settings. See, there's sloped railing here, so you can click on this one here. This option will now break it down exactly like we need, with the exception that this distance is it should be longer than what it is here. So again, going back to the settings, and you see I can control it in here. I don't know how much is in here. Is probably, I can try maybe 1'6" for right now, just to see, yeah, something like that. And now the only problem is with this last segment is I can't really adjust the angle of it. By default settings won't let me do it. So all I can just click on it and, you know, try to extend it, but it doesn't really help. So I will go to the settings, and what I would do, I would just and by the way, I should also change this, I believe, distance, which is okay. I can control them separately. So the top one probably must be 11 inches. Actually, it's measured horizontally, so it's probably, we can measure this later if we want to make it really up to code, but I can probably change it back for right now. So I would change the setting to the last one, which, the second one, which is a curve, and now just set this again to the same way I did for the previous option, and I would just leave it like this for right now. So what I did in previous stairs, I just modeled the last two segments with a profile, and it was just like a separate segment. Unfortunately, I don't think there are settings. I didn't find any, at least, that allow me to do that. All right, I will now go up here, and again, this segment here, we can go to, actually, let's see, can I? Yeah, it's actually right here. I will change the building rail end to none. I don't need that. And what I need in here is going to be, this is, I need to turn this a little bit. So I would go here, and this time I would pick this sloped railing to horizontal, and I can even extend it by maybe 2 inches for right now, and just leave it for now. I will now fix the handrail. So the handrail here, again, I go here to the settings, I change the radius to 0, and this time I would select the second option here, and I would just say okay, and see, okay, it turned exactly where I need it to be. We can control this distance here and that distance, so I believe this distance must, this is what I see here, is probably like about maybe 4 inches, or maybe even less than that, probably less. Can do 3 inches, and then I can leave this for right now. Let's change the finishes so it's all gonna have white paint. For that I would escape from here completely, and then I would select the entire railing, and then go to the settings, and now go to all of these elements and change materials for it. Not the materials, but the surfaces. So under here, again, I would start with the top rail, go to 3D representation, and by default, as you can see, it was set to metal trim nickel. I would change it to paint white. Select the handrail, change it to paint white. Select the bottom rail, go to the settings, and again, you see how long it takes really to change all of this elements, because all of them have individual settings, and ideally after we do that, we just, oops, that was the material, we need to save it as a favorite, so next time we don't have to do it again. Right, change the balusters. I also can go to posts in here and change it right there. And again, I'm not sure if I said about it, but but there are posts and there are inner posts. So posts are those vertical pipes that are on each end of the segment, on each node, and the inner posts are this is what you see here. This is the inner post, and this is what you see here is a post in ArchiCAD terms, even though they look exact same. So finishing with changing finishes. Let's also change this ends, even though we don't have that, just in case. And by the way, when we when we are changing settings for all of these posts, connections, like post, for example, no, I was talking about connections. When you select connections menu on the left, you see it says edit settings for top rail. So what I just did, I only changed the surface for connections for top rail, but we also can click on it, and that's what I was talking in the beginning. This is where we had handrail 1 and handrail 2 and a rail, and a handrail 2 was the default horizontal kind of pipe that we eliminated already, but the top rail is this one here. The handrail 1 is what we can still see here, and the rail is the bottom one. So I have to go to each of these and then change surfaces to each of these elements, connections for each of these elements in order to make sure that all of them will switch to white color. So rail, paint, finally say okay. Let's see. Okay, even I did that, we still have some elements that didn't change the color. Well, let's check why is that. So I go to the settings, and like I said, these are posts because they are sitting on nodes on each end of the segment. So I go to post, and see, it says it's edited to paint white, so it should work, but it's not working because we have this little warning symbol that says reset to custom node. So because we already edited this, and I'll cancel out of here, because we already edited some of these elements individually, now the override for all of them doesn't work anymore. Means it will work if we would reset this, but if we will reset it, it will change all of these settings that we already changed, all the connections. So now we learn a lesson that we actually had to change colors, surfaces in the very beginning, not at the end. But again, we will save this as a favorite and use it later. So this time now I should click edit, and I should select each of these components. Let's see if I can select both of them and try to change them at the same time, if that will work. Yes, that's good. Now this two, I'll change it to paint. White. Okay, so looks like this one still needs a separate attention. All right, excellent. The only thing what's left is the fixings. So to change that, I would just select the handrail, go to the settings, and find where the fixing is, and it's right underneath the very first one. And I would just finally go to 3D representation and scroll down. Let's see. Yes, fixing, I didn't change that, so paint white. Here it is. I'll escape from here, and I just finished modeling this stair, which still does not, this railing I meant, and it still does not look exactly like this picture because this post stays in the middle. So that's what we need to change now. Let's think how we can change it. Let's select this railing, go to the settings, and think about this again. Where do we change that? All right, under the very first head of this all settings, we have railing, and we have I don't care about floor plan. Not that. No, it's not in here. These are the settings for like more general, more like floor plan display settings. It's not in here. But if I click on the segment, let's check this setting here, pattern distribution and position, 5 feet. All right, it starts with pattern. Let's see if I can change this to center one. Let's see if that will help. No, that didn't help. And I always forget where this particular one is. Maybe it's the inner post. Let's check this setting, this distribution. It must be a distribution setting. Okay, yeah, I think it's right here. So when you go to inner post, you can find it, you can see it is selected. This inner post is right. This what you see here, and it says you're 5 feet and distance from previous. And here are the options: single or duplicate. No, it's not what we care. But I don't see the way to distribute it from. Let's see, component. No, it's not that, because if I change it to 7, for example, it will. Okay, it still didn't move. I think it doesn't work because like I said, because we already changed this handrail. We changed the custom unique elements separately, and now it doesn't want to work if I go to the general settings like that, because we have this warning symbol. But again, we don't want to reset. We don't want to reset because we already spent time setting this up. So let's see if it's under balusters. Maybe that will help. No, that's just the baluster. We need to cancel out of here. We need to click edit instead, I think, and now select the post, go to the settings, and yeah, now let's see if I can, if I do 7 here, it will increase the distance, and it will, see, it jumps to like here. I think, let me see how I, all right, let me click to 5 back again. I'm just trying to understand from where it starts to calculate this number, because it looks like it starts, it shouldn't start in the center. So if I do 1 foot, okay, so if I do 2 feet, and you see like at every 2 feet, yeah, it looks like it starts. If I do 1'6", so okay, what if I just type, you know, the longer number, I mean longer distance here. What if I do 20 feet? What it will do for me? Okay, it will just disappear because there's not enough. Let's change it back to 5, and let's still try to figure this out. Let's select the segment now. Select the segment and go to it and try to see, yeah, segment pattern settings. I think it should work now. If we, because we need to change this, start from center, and I think it should start building this. Isn't it? Let's see how many verticals we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, this is that. This was that setting. So I had to select this segment, and I had to go to the segment pattern settings and just switch this to the second option, start from center, and that's where it will start. Okay, so that's good. I will say okay. I will escape from here, and I'm happy with this railing for right now. It looks similar. For some reason, I don't see the fixing. Let's just see if I can select the railing, because I see fixing in here, in there, but I don't see it there. So let's go to fixing here and try to find the fixing distribution. Okay, it says distribute by post, but for some reason it won't give me the one at here. There is a post here. Oh, that's because we removed the post. and it removed also the fixing. Remember, we were extending this instead of having a post, and so that's why. Well, what else we can do? We can say distribute pattern, and we can even set a distance, but we need to measure the distance. Like if I do 5 feet, say okay, and you see now it starts to distribute, but we need to uncheck this automatic layout best fit and just select the center. I think it's your segment center. Yeah, let's try that. Here it is. Good, it has one in here, but it does not have at other ends. Should we try another setting, segment center by pattern midpoint? What does that mean? Okay, not really what I want. What if I change the distance? It will still not add anything there. Well, we can also distribute by divisions. See that option, and if I say number of divisions, let's say I need 2 divisions. Okay, and I don't need this distance from end, so I just say 0, and here it is. Just perfect. This is exactly what we need, where we need these fixings. Okay, excellent. I think I'm pretty happy with this one. Guardrail and handrail, and the stair with flights, but this took me 51 minutes to explain, and I will probably do a break and we can continue with the rest of the railings and stairs in next videos. Thank you for watching. I hope that was helpful.